Okay, good morning, class. So today we're going to learn about addition integers. So can you tell me what an addition means?
It means adding two or more numbers or objects together.
Good. Now, do you remember using a number line?
Yes, it's a line with numbers on the line.
Yes, but do you know how to set up the numbers between negative and positive numbers? Okay, so let's do a quick review on the number line. We already know that number line is a number placed on lines like this. This is what a number line looks like. Who can tell me what do you see different with the numbers?
The left side of the numbered line has a line in front of the numbers.
Okay, that's right. Can you tell me why is there a line in front of the numbers?
I'm not sure.
Okay, that's fine. The number with the line in front of it is called a negative number right here. These are your negative numbers right here. If the left side has negative numbers, then what would the other side be called?
Positive.
Right. So we have our negatives and our positive numbers. So the number line has both negative and positive numbers. When we look at the number line and we have to plot 4, which side would you put on?
Right.
Okay, good. So if we have a -6, which line would you put on?
Negative.
Good job. So we're going to go ahead and start with our lesson. We're going to talk about adding integers that involves positive and negative numbers. Can you give me a good guess of what an integer is?
It's the whole numbers.
You got one part right. It's a union set of numbers and a set of negative numbers, which are called integers. So I have these two circle diagrams right here. This is all your positive and all your negatives. And these two are all your integers. Okay? So does everyone understand what an integer is?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's learn how to add a positive and a negative integer. I have created some charts for you to understand when we see an addition with two positives, two negatives, a positive, and a negative integer. So when we add a positive plus a positive will always be positive. So two positives right here, your answer will always be positive. It won't be nothing else. So let's go ahead and look at this problem right here. I have 5 plus 1. Can you tell me what the answer is?
6.
Good. So you're all right. Our answer would be 6. So if I have a positive plus a positive, it will always be a
positive.
Good. So let's move on to adding a negative and a negative integer. Okay. Negative plus a negative will always equal a negative. You have a negative number plus a negative number that will always equal a negative number. So we're going to look at this problem right here. Negative 5 plus 2. But right now, I don't want you to focus on the negative part. I want you to pretend like they don't exist. So what is 5 plus 2?
7.
Good. So we know that 5 plus 2 is 7. Now bring back the negative for the 5 and the 2. We are seeing negative 5 plus 2. And we already know that the answer is 7. But if we bring the negative sign with us, it's because adding two negative numbers will have a negative as well. So we bring it back. So our true answer would be negative 7. So can you tell me when we're adding two negative numbers together, what would our answer be?
Our answer will be negative.
Great. So now we're going to move on to adding and positive negative together. When you see an addition problem that has a negative and a positive number, you have to add them up, and it depends on how big the number is. Do you know what I mean by that? Okay, so what I mean by that is that when you're adding a number that is a positive and a negative, you need the answer so you can decide. So when you have to decide if the answer is going to be either positive or negative. So look at this way. You have coins in both of your hands that represents one number and the other number. So if we're looking at one hand, our left hand is a -4. So we have 4 coins. And in the other hand, we have a positive 8. So we have 8 coins in our hands. Each hand, or when you add them together, the answer would be 12. So 8 plus 4 equals 12. So we've already found our answer. But the thing is, we don't know what sign because we have a positive and negative. So to decide that, we have to decide which hand has the most coins. So which hand has the most coins?
8.
Good. So our 8s are positive, right?
Yes.
So that means our answer would be positive 12. Even though we have a negative, 4 is the least value, while 8 is the greater value. So let's do a problem like this. I have 7 plus negative 2. So forget about the negative 2. Forget about the negative part on the 2. I just want you to focus on the number. So what is 7 plus 2?
9.
Good. Okay, so we have 9. So we need to decide if the 9 is a positive or a negative. To determine what to look at, 7 and negative 2, we need to figure out which number has a greater value. Do you know which one has a greater value?
The 7.
Why do you say that?
Because one hand has only 2 coins, where the other hand has 7 coins. The 7 has a greater value, and it's a positive number, so it stays positive.
Very good. You're starting to understand it. We'll go over more problems so everyone can fully understand it, okay? So let's look at our first example. 8 plus 9. What's our first step?
Adding them together.
Okay, good. And what would our answer be?
The answer would be 17.
Very correct. That is correct. They are both positive signs. So if they are both positive signs, what sign do we use?
Positive. Because 2 numbers added that are both positive, the answer would be positive as well.
Good job. Okay, so our second problem is negative 10 plus negative 3. What's our first step?
To add the 2 numbers together.
Okay, and our answer would be?
13.
Good job. So I have 13 as our answer. Since we are adding 2 negatives together, what sign will we be using?
Negative, because adding 2 negatives together carries the negative sign over to the answer.
Good job. So it's negative 10 plus negative 3 is negative 13. Okay, so we're going to look at our non-example. I'm going to read the problem to you. Ms. Rodriguez has a bank balance of negative $42 at the start of the month. After she deposits $6, what is her new balance? So I have the equation right here. Negative 42, because that's what she has in her negative account right now. And then we're going to add the $6 because that's what they want us to do. She's adding. She's depositing. That means you're putting money in your bank. So what should we do?
We would need to add 6 to the negative 42.
Okay. What is the answer and what sign would we keep?
The answer is 36, but 42 is a bigger number than 6, so our true answer is negative 36.
Very good. Negative 42 plus 6 equals negative 36. Okay, so let's look at our third example. I have negative 8 plus 7. What would be our first step?
We need to add the 2 numbers together.
Okay, and then if we do that, what would our answer be?
15.
Good. That is correct. Now, since we added a positive and a negative number together, how can we figure out what sign it needs?
By using coins.
Good idea. So how do we do that?
We put 8 coins in one hand and 7 in the other hand. And which hand has the most coins as the sign we use?
And which would that be?
The sign would be negative because 8 has a greater value than 7.
Good job. So our final answer would be not negative 7, my bad. Negative 15. That would be our final answer. So good job. Okay. So I have a card game for you that we're going to play. So go ahead. I separate out these stacks for you. And the red numbers are going to be, give me one moment. Okay, So we have these deck of cards. The red cards are going to be, I believe, the red cards are going to be negative numbers. And our black cards are going to be positive numbers, okay? You understand?
Yes.
And we're going to draw them out, and then all these cards, you're going to have to add them. So I'm going to draw a card, you draw a card, and then whatever card we get, we're going to draw them. Okay?
Alright.
Okay, so go ahead and flip one card over. So we have a -9 plus a +2. So, what would our answer be?
The answer is 11.
Just 11?
Yes, just 11 because 9 plus 2 is 11.
Remember, the red cards are negative and the black cards are positive, right?
Yes, so it's -9 plus 2 equal 11.
Yes, but the answer... Yes, you have the answer, but remember, when we add a positive and a negative number, whichever has the greatest value, the sign goes with it. So which number has a greater value?
9.
And what sign does the negative have?
Negative.
Good. Now, aren't you supposed to carry the negative sign over the 11?
Yes,
So what's our final answer?
-11.
Good job. Okay, so we have a -4 plus a +6. So what would our answer be?
The answer would be 10.
Good. So do you know what sign we would use?
Positive.
Why do you say that?
Because in one hand we have 4 coins, in the other hand we have 6 coins, and 6 is the bigger number and carry the sign it carries, which is positive. So that's why the answer is 10.
Good job. And I'm glad you're going through step by step. I see you really understanding the concept. So we learned about adding integers. So what did you learn from this lesson?
We have that adding a positive with positives comes out positive. Then adding negative with negative comes out negative.
Okay, and what else?
When you're adding positive with a negative, you have to see what number has the greater value, or whatever number has the greater value is the sign that you carry with the answer.
Okay, what kind of tools can you use to help you to find the greater value?
We can use coins to help us.
Okay, good job. So, okay, so looking at this problem, a football team loses 5 yards on one play and then loses 8 yards on the next play. How many yards did he lose on the 2 plays? They lost 5 yards, then lose 2 yards. Is that positive or negative numbers?
Negative numbers.
Okay. How would we set up our equation?
-5 plus -8.
Okay, so I have it right here. So what would our answer be in sign?
It would be 13, and our sign would be negative because adding 2 negatives will give us a negative. So our final answer is -13.
Good job. So our answer will be -13. -5 plus -8 is 13. All right. Looks like I got another problem. George owes his friend Janae $3. If he borrows another $6, how much would he owe her altogether? What do we do?
Need to add the 2 numbers together.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because the question has the word altogether, which means addition.
Good. So what is 3 plus 6?
George will owe Janina $9.
Good job. So 3 plus 6 equals 9. Okay, class. Since we learned about addition integers this week, you're able to learn to carry the rules with the other integers when we learn, such as the positive and the negative, and what the rules are, adding positive, positive, negative and negative, and positive and negative. So next week, we're going to work on the same thing, but with subtraction integers now.